Watch these 10 scary close calls caught on CCTV cameras. In eastern China, a tuk-tuk driver narrowly avoided a falling brick wall. In Texas, 3 teens almost set a fireworks store on fire. In Brazil, a huge landslide slowly ate up part of a street. And in California, a family had to leave their home because of a freak wildfire. That's not easy to do. The pilot, air traffic control, and everyone else on the runway have to talk back and forth a lot. Things can go horribly wrong even when everything seems to be going well. One of the closest calls ever made by Air Canada Flight 759 was on July 7, 2017. The pilot was meant to arrive on runway 28 at San Francisco International Airport, but it was almost midnight. When they lined up, they did it wrong and started speeding toward 4 planes that were ready to take off. The National Transportation Safety Board says the Air Canada flight pulled up about 100 feet above the ground to miss the other planes. 2 business planes shouldn't be that close together. It was only 60 feet above the second plane in line. Luckily, no one on board was hurt when the landing attempt failed. After going around, the plane arrived on the right runway. Jim Hall, the head of the NTSB, said it was the most important close call we've had in the last 10 years. At the heart of this story is a simple question. How do you land on the wrong runway? They deleted the data from the pilot's speech recorder, so we may never really know. The cabin tape recorded over itself several times because it took more than 24 hours to report the accident to the NTSB. Anqi County is a city in southern Fujian Province, China. It is a prefecture-level county. They're famous for the different kinds of oolong tea, which is a unique tea that needs extra care to make. They would have seen this video coming on November 28, 2019 if they had read the tea leaves. The yellow truck starts to move more slowly, but then its right tire goes through the ground. It gets bigger until it almost swallows the whole truck. The 2 shop owners are shocked and don't know what to do next. Pictures of the crash help you understand how big the pit is. The reports said it was 32 feet long and 16 feet wide. They also say that the shop owners in the area, not the road itself, were to blame. The shop owners filled in the space between the road and the shops with concrete because it was too low. This huge opening was caused by the do-it-yourself job. Another pit appeared in the middle of a residential area about 20 hours north of Anqi County in the smaller city of Chongping. This time, the road was completely to blame. It looks like any other night, but the person on the bike and the person walking don't know what they almost missed. The road suddenly gives way, making both guys jump. The scooter keeps going, and the other guy and his dog run off. We think the parked car was only a few inches from going into the creek. The pit quickly grew 3 times bigger. The next morning, you can see how big it was. That thing had to have kept falling apart all night. Officials said the fall happened because water got in from the sewer pipe. The hole was fixed that same day. In many parts of the world, setting off fireworks is a traditional event. The 4th of July is the most well-known holiday in the United States. 3 men pulled up outside of a fireworks shop around 10:30 p.m. on July 4, 2022, with the purpose to cause trouble. Watch out for the kid wearing the number 90 Jadivian Clowney shirt. We suspect him the most. You can see the 3 guys pull up and park at the beginning of the film. First 2 guys walk in, then number 90. The video almost makes it look like they're going to do something really stupid. Near the boxes, we can see person 90 holding a fireworks. He walks around aimlessly, watching for a chance to set off the fireworks. His other friend comes up to him and gives him some words of support. After laughing, number 90 hits his lighter. He drops the fireworks and runs away as buyers walk by without paying attention. 2 guys try to put out the fire quickly, but it's too dangerous. A short time later, the man in green comes back with a fire extinguisher and goes out for good. Thank goodness the sparks didn't set off a terrible chain of events. It looks like the thieves got away with fireworks worth $200. It's likely that the blast was meant to confuse them so they could get out of the store. The police shared the footage from the security cameras to try to find the suspects. One of them was caught and charged with setting fire to something about a month later. Has a storm ever wiped out a whole neighborhood? That's what happened to this small village near Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. There are a lot of poor people in the favelas, which are also called slums and ghettos. They're in movies and on TV. People in action movies love running down those little houses built into the mountains. This scene wasn't a Hollywood trick, though. People in the area barely got out of their house before bad things happened. People are running away as the first building starts to slide. It pulls everything along with it, even the lighting and houses next door. Soon the whole road gives way, and the building across the street slides off. Someone quickly comes over to look at the damage. Still, you can see the houses slowly moving away. A lot of people could only watch in fear as the collapse ate up all of their things. They were lucky to get away alive. In Chongqing, China, a similar close call happened when a supporting wall fell apart during an odd avalanche. She heard something behind her as she turned her scooter around. She probably saved her own life and the life of someone else. The date was July 16, 2020. When something falls off the wall, it looks like the woman is putting something on her scooter. She tried going back the way she came because she didn't like whatever it was. At about the halfway point, someone else comes up to her. That's when the wall turns to face them. We think the sound it made, like popping, caught her attention. Just before the wall came down, she dropped the bike and almost tackled the other person out of the way. Video of what happened after the fall shows how bad it was. She is still alive to tell the tale because she is quick on her feet. In China, Meizhou is a city that is part of Guangdong province and is a county. About 3.8 million people live there, and they all know their way around town. Some of them know all the fire stations by heart, which is helpful if your car is on fire. A delivery driver was moving furniture across the city on May 16, 2021, when the bed of his truck caught fire. He was lucky that the fire station was close by. As the fire truck speeds down the road, a guy runs along the path. The other guy waves him in as he makes a sharp left turn into the fire station. They go inside and call for help. That's when our driver actually takes things into his own hands. Zhuhai City, China. A man was driving to work in his Audi on October 17, 2017. It was not too bad, and it was just after 8 a.m. After that, something fell from the sky. When our driver got out of the car, he had no idea what was going on. He probably thought, "Why does heaven look like downtown Tokyo?" Someone quickly comes over to check on the driver. News stories say that he only broke his ankle. You can see where the crane fell from a different view. It was from a nearby building site. It went across the road and could have hit people on the path. We also don't know who or why the crane fell. We do know that this driver is very lucky to be alive. The center and biggest city of Guangxi, China, is Nanning. About 8.7 million people live there, plus one very lucky tuk-tuk driver. A driver went down a side street on May 27, 2023, and went by an old brick wall. They had no idea that it was about to fall apart. On the left side of your screen is our wall. After years of rain and wind, you can see how the center has broken down. It was built in the 1960s, but it was always going to fall apart in 2023. The person who drives our tuk-tuk comes down the road and goes by the wall. It looks like the wind picks up a little as he goes by. That wind must have been strong enough to knock it over, just missing him. That's a different view of the driver. They were about 20 feet away when the wall fell. Reports from the area said the wall fell down after years of not being fixed or maintained. At most railroad stations, there are signs that tell you when a train is coming. Some of them have loud bells and whistles, and the arms move down. People still blow through the tracks all the time. For example, look at this biker. This is Yeti Dushka going to the food store in the Czech Republic's Kostelec or Litsi. The town is pretty quiet. When he came over a hill, the sun made him blind. The railroad arm was never shown to him, and Yeti and his 1985 Simpson motorbike hit the tracks hard after being hit by the crossing arm. Then someone steps in to help and pulls him and his bike out of harm's way. A short time later, the train comes. The track ends right where Yeti would have been.